October 17, 2022, Tulsa, Oklahoma. A young man was looking to sell an axe online and agreed to meet up with a potential buyer at his apartment complex. Footage from inside the home shows the buyer holding the axe and inspecting it while talking to the seller. Everything seemed normal at first, until the unthinkable happened. Without warning, the individual holding the axe swung it at full force, striking a man who was sitting on the couch. The victim was not even involved in the situation and was simply eating while charging his phone at the time. After the incident, the perpetrator managed to escape the apartment complex but was apprehended by police soon after. He was later identified as 26-year-old Israel Trejo. Not much information about him is available online. However, authorities confirmed that he was known to police. According to the Tulsa County District Attorney's Office, Trejo was also on a hold from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement at the time of the incident. The victim was identified as James Jimi Patterson, who had just turned 22 years old a few months before the incident. He was taken to hospital immediately after the attack, but passed away a few days later. Jimi was described by all those who knew him as a very sweet and kind-hearted person who was well-liked. In a news interview, Joshua Lewis, Jimi's close friend, said the following about him.
Yeah, he was a good friend of mine. He was innocent. I mean, he was into like Pokemon cards and stuff. I mean, he would never hurt a fly. He was a sweetheart.
At the time, Jimi was living with Joshua at the apartment complex. The individual selling the axe, whose name has not been released, was Jimi and Joshua's neighbor from the same building. Jimi was friends with this neighbor, and he was just visiting his apartment when the shocking event occurred. Trejo was sentenced to life in prison without parole in August of 2023. To date, there has not been any explanation given as to why he committed this atrocious act. Jimi had never talked to him, and he was not even paying attention at the time of the incident. It seems that Trejo carried out this cold-blooded attack for absolutely no reason. Lieutenant Brandon Watkins of Tulsa PD stated the following about the case.
Yeah, there's no lessons here. There's nothing to this. It's just pure sadistic brutality on the part of the suspect.
A few days after the incident, a GoFundMe page was created by two of Jimi's former classmates from Riverhead High School in New York to help his family with the funeral as well as other costs. As of the recording of this video, the page has raised just over $10,000 of the $25,000 goal. If anybody would like to donate to the cause, the link will be available in the video description below. Any amount would be greatly appreciated. April 16, 2017, Cleveland, Ohio. 37-year-old Steve Stevens uploads a video to Facebook talking about a woman named Joy Lane, claiming she caused many of the problems he had in his life.
Past years been really f***ed up for me. Being with Joy, she drove me crazy, started making me gamble. I lost everything. I lost everything I had, man. I don't have shit. I'm out of options. And now I'm just on some murder type shit, so what I'm gonna do is, because she works here at Murder Taylor, this is over in 105, I'm gonna try to kill as many people as I can over here. Murders Taylor and Joy Lane. And it's f***ed up too, because I never really been on no sucker shit like this. This is some sucker shit, but we all human, man, and I guess we all got breaking points. I went to my mother yesterday because I was trying to get some, talk to my mother, but I guess it's the way I was raised. She didn't even give a f***, man. I was telling my mother I was on some suicide type shit. I'm about to kill some people. Didn't care. I don't know something about me, but it don't matter. People would come to me with their problems. I'm a case manager at Beachbrook. I would deal with people's problems every day. But when it comes to my shit, nobody gives a f***. It's like I'm always the bad guy. It don't matter what the f*** I do. People always make it out on me. And this is f***ed up, man, because innocent people about to die today. Hopefully, I'm gonna try to kill as many people as I can, be on death row or whatever the case may be, but I just don't give a f*** no more.
While the video was distressing, what happens next is disturbing.
I want to kill this guy right here. You're old dude, too. Oh, shit. Hi. Can you do me a favor? Can you say Joy Lane?
What?
Can you say Joy Lane?
Joy Lane.
Yeah. She's the reason why this is about to happen to you. How old are you? Murders Taylor, Beachbrook, all that.
This video quickly garnered much media attention due to its disturbing nature and became the top news story in the country. A huge manhunt ensued to find Stevens, and his face was shown everywhere. He managed to evade authorities for 2 days, but was eventually spotted at a McDonald's drive-thru in Erie, Pennsylvania, 100 miles from the location of the shooting.
He was at the McDonald's up there, and I seen him in there ordering his food, and I was like, oh, he looked familiar.
The McDonald's employee tried to get Stevens to wait for the police by telling him that his fries were coming out in a bit. He told them that he had no time to wait, however, and took off. Police had arrived by then and immediately began pursuing Stevens as he exited the McDonald's. The chase was partially caught on nearby security cameras. An officer eventually performed a pit maneuver and derailed Stevens' car, at which point he took his own life.
That was my daddy. And then that man killed my daddy for no reason.
The man Stevens murdered in cold blood was 74-year-old Robert Godwin Sr. Robert had 9 children, 14 grandchildren, and many great-grandchildren. He was described as a nice man who was always respectful by those who knew him. The day after the incident, a vigil organized by a community member was held for Robert, which many attended. Joy Lane, the woman Stevens mentioned in his videos, was also interviewed a few days after the incident. According to her, she was in a relationship with Stevens for some time, and they were even looking at engagement rings at one point. They eventually parted ways, however, but remained friends. She also mentioned that Stevens had a problem with gambling. Joy claimed that she had last spoken to Stevens the day before the incident, when he told her that he quit his job and was going to leave the state. She found this a bit bizarre, but she could have never imagined what was on Steve Stevens' mind. March 27, 2014, Corpus Christi, Texas. An 18-year-old by the name of Kevin Davis knocks on the door of a random house and asks to use the phone. The couple who opened the door wondered why he needed it at first, but Kevin soon explained. Shockingly, he informed them that he had just murdered his own mother and wanted to turn himself in. They quickly handed Kevin the phone, and he proceeded to tell the emergency dispatcher that his mother was dead in her apartment, where he also lived. Kevin was arrested soon after and brought into the police station for questioning. His subsequent interrogation was nothing short of disturbing.
You did what? Well, I tried to strangle her with a cord, a ripped cord from a video game console controller. That didn't work, huh?
Where was this at your brother's finger?
She was sitting on the couch watching TV.
Okay.
That didn't work out too well. She started screaming, and so I went to her room, opened a drawer at the very bottom to the right. I pulled out a hammer. I went back in the living room, and well, you kind of get the gist from there. And she was out pretty quickly. Kind of tried to play dead at first, but then I finished it.
So you hit her with a hammer when she was sitting in the sofa in the living room?
No, first I tried to strangle her, and that didn't work. She grabbed the cord, so I raced back into her room, grabbed the hammer, came back out, and then did it.
How many times did you hit with a hammer in the living room?
At least 20, but then she was still alive. I dragged her into the room, as you probably clearly saw, and then I kind of wormed my hands into her brains to kind of just cut it. She was still snoring.
Okay, so she was still alive?
She was still alive.
And you went in there and you kind of grabbed those brains?
Yeah, finished it.
All right. Did you use a knife on her?
Actually, I was going to, but no, I didn't get to do that.
Completely emotionless, Kevin explained in great detail how he viciously butchered his mother, Kimberly Hill. What he went on to tell police was even more disturbing, however.
And then, so when you dragged her to the living room, to the bedroom, you kept on hitting her there?
Yeah, I kind of went.
That's where that's when you reached in and grabbed the brain?
Yeah, I kicked at it a bit. Then I just, that was kind of silly, but then I just decided to reach in and kind of just do it.
Mm-hmm. And then what did you do after that?
Then I had sex with her corpse.
You did? Okay. Did you come inside her?
I did, actually.
Have you ever done that before, like had sex with her?
No, I haven't, actually.
This is just the first time?
Oh yeah, I lost my virginity to a corpse.
Okay.
Later in the interview, Kevin would explain that he had violent sexual fantasies towards his mother and sister, Desiree, for many years. Initially, he had planned to murder Desiree as well, but according to his own words, he already had his fill of killing, so he decided against it. When asked why he did what he did to his mother, Kevin informed police that he snapped during a conversation with her. Allegedly, he had told his mother that he wanted to end his own life, to which she replied that there was nothing she could do to stop him if he wanted to. Kevin had a history of manipulating his mother by telling her that he was going to commit suicide, and she had finally had enough. This is what sent Kevin into a blind rage. When police arrived at the apartment that day, they discovered the disturbing scene which Kevin described. They found Kimberly Hill on the bed, naked from the waist down. There was blood everywhere, and it was obvious there had been a struggle. During the subsequent trial, Kevin smiled and laughed at jury members as his gruesome confession was being played. While his lawyer tried to argue insanity, Kevin stated himself multiple times during his interrogation that he was completely sane and understood exactly what he did. He was sentenced to life in prison on October 8th of 2014. Shockingly, however, he will be eligible for parole in March of 2044. Our deepest condolences go out to the families and friends of all of those covered in this video.